On WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader. The news starts now.
First on 5, BP says it has successfully cut through the riser pipe that is gushing oil into the Gulf of Mexico. Hello, I'm Jessica Taloni.
And I'm Roseanne Haven. Mill Showers has the night off. First on 5, workers in the Gulf have made what's being called significant progress in the effort to cap the gushing oil well. Meanwhile, people in Pensacola are now waiting for the disaster to come ashore. Crews may be closer to capping the gushing oil. This morning, underwater robots successfully sliced off the broken well pipe, although engineers didn't get the clean cut they wanted.
This is an irregular cut. It will be a little bit more challenging to get the seal around, but we will have a containment device there.
BP won't know how much oil the cap can funnel up to a ship until they have it in place. Even if it works well, engineers still expect some oil to continue leaking into the Gulf.
And the next 12 to 24 hours will give us an indication of how successful this attempt will be.
We've got this nice sand and it just doesn't mix very well with oil from what I've heard.
Tim Rack was waiting for the rain to clear so he could hit the surf before oil arrives in Pensacola.
Pretty much we're a tourist town for people from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way going up to Kentucky come down here, especially in the summer months.
With the nation's worst oil spill growing bigger by the day, President Obama will make his third trip to the Louisiana Gulf Coast Friday for an update on efforts to contain and clean up the mess.
The White House has a bill for BP. The costs associated with the oil spill in the Gulf so far total $69 million. A White House spokesman says this is just the first bill for the company. The federal government says BP will be responsible for all costs associated with the cleanup as well as business losses. Well, Alabama's top executive, Governor Bob Riley, is still on the Gulf Coast trying to get a handle on our state's response. He is preparing to give an update on the oil threatening the coastline in just a few minutes. News 5's Steve Alexander is joining us live now from the Mobile Convention Center. Steve?
Well, the governor is scheduled to hold a news conference here at the Mobile Convention Center. It was scheduled for 5:30. We now understand it's going to be late, probably about 6 o'clock. The governor says he has been meeting all day with officials from BP, the Coast Guard, and also local governments, so maybe we can find out a little bit more about whether they will get any more financial assistance, what will be happening in the Vessels of Opportunity program, but a number of things we want to ask him, and probably a number of things he wants to say, too. We'll have more coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Reporting live from the Mobile Convention Center, Steve Alexander, News 5.
Yesterday, while in Mobile, Governor Bob Riley criticized the Coast Guard for sending boom originally allocated for Alabama to Louisiana. The governor's office told us 20% of Alabama's boom had been redistributed in the last week, leaving parts of our shoreline vulnerable. Today, we boarded a Coast Guard boat and saw some of the problem areas for ourselves.
The United States Coast Guard is now fully engaged in the second Battle of Mobile.
Heading south from Dolphin Island, the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service conduct a routine check of some of the coast's most vulnerable areas.
Sand Island, which is owned by the state, is a typical place where you'll see brown pelicans, terns, and they may even nest there on occasion. That's the kind of area where our Fish and Wildlife search and capture teams will continually go back to check out the status of the wildlife in those areas.
We only rowed about 3 miles out and essentially circled the island. The good news, we didn't see oil, but we didn't see much else either.
Right now we're in Pelican Bay, and the captain of the boat we're on says 2 weeks ago when he was out here, there was boom off of Sand Island. Then about a week ago, the boom was gone, but the anchors were still here. And today, he says he's seen nothing. Where did that boom go?
No. All of this stuff is repositioned as it's needed, based on the reports that the command gets in. It could be boom that has been destroyed and needs to be replaced. It could be boom that's been repositioned because that's what the incident requires.
Near the end of the 2.5-hour ride, we were shown these barges. They're sitting near the Dolphin Island Bridge. It's a staging area for containment boom that the Coast Guard says will be deployed if large amounts of oil start nearing the shore. The Coast Guard insists they are fighting this battle in the deep water of the Gulf, but admits just 5 large skimmers are actively working.
5 large skimmers for 40 million gallons of oil, that does not seem like enough.
Yeah, well, again, the estimates of the oil coming out of the hole are going to be very different than what eventually ends up getting skimmed because of evaporation, all of the kind of work that the ocean does on this oil. It's going to change in character, it's going to change in consistency, and it's going to change in quantity over time.
Now, Coast Guard Admiral Thad Allen says they are moving more staff and resources to our part of the Gulf Coast now. Admiral Allen says a cutter has arrived in Mobile Bay and boats will deploy additional boom, but we don't know exactly where. A second Coast Guard cutter is stationed off the coast of Pensacola.
Now, just a couple of days ago, News 5 was in the sky over the Gulf Coast, finding out just how close the oil was to our shorelines. And today, we're getting a better picture of just how the oil is moving. Debbie Williams joins us now live from Jack Edwards Airport in Gulf Shores. Debbie, what'd you see today?
Well, we just got back on the ground about 30 minutes ago, Roseanne, and we did find oil just off of the Fort Morgan Peninsula.